What's next? Coop to the Chiefs? Tell you this. If you said Amari Cooper gets traded, wouldn't you put the Chiefs on the list of teams that might acquire him?
If I tell you Amari Cooper goes to the Chiefs, isn't your first response? That's scary.
Well, my first response, like, of course, right? It's some version of that because they take big swings. The Rams take big swings. The Chargers took a big swing. Like, you could argue the Seahawks took a big swing in a weird way. It's a reverse big swing, but they did something dramatic. They're not afraid to shake it up.
No.
Are the Niners going to, Tobin on the stream says, we don't need Khalil Mack. We have Samson Ebukam. Okay, fine. But what is your move? And is it J.C. Jackson? I said it last year. The number one issue I had with the Niners was I didn't think their secondary, their cornerbacks were good enough, and it was risky to run it back with Jason Verrett.
First round pick, though. Jason Verrett, former. 7 leg injuries later.
He was great, and he was really good for them the year before.
Yeah. And then he tore his ACL in the first game of the season.
Just risky. And I would, if I were the Niners, I would spend the most amount of money that I spend on the cornerbacks this year. And not, let's get the 5th best guy and the 8th best guy. How about go get the best guy? How about go get J.C. Jackson?
Or just
go cover Cooper Kupp.
Well, why not give Stephon Gilmore 2 years, $30 million total, so $15 a year, guarantee every penny. Just do short term, but guarantee do something to get very, very aggressive. To me, there's not often, but they're unknown with how talented their guy is in terms of winning games. But the other part is the cap space. You got to utilize that to your benefit, guy.
Hold on one second, because people are saying it's cutting out, although it looks clear to us. But I'm getting multiple people saying that. So everybody, let's take a look here. Connection back. Yep, it's back. Let me see if I can
look normal with me the whole time.
Yeah, all right. Stream was nasty. Thought it was just me. Let me pull up the stream. This is the behind the scenes look the YouTubers get.
Hold up. Let me get a little water then.
Okay, you go do that. Checking the stream, everybody. Let's see. Good on your end. Good now. I'm skipping through it here, people. Oh, I see what you guys are saying. Yeah. Was it just I was definitely seeing it in the audio. Better now. All right, keep us I'm on Fiber. Keep us up to date on that because I made a little switch. Video still a little blurry. I changed a setting pre-show that I can't change back now, so maybe that could be it to drive up the picture quality. But it was both, and it was bad for only like 60 seconds. Well, that's not acceptable. 60 seconds is it back now? That's the question. Is it good now? Good now. Video still blurry.
You got to be very careful about listening to the comments.
Well, I just went back and I did see some skipping. Matt says good now. All right. Thank you, Matt. Making a note just to get this out of the podcast version of the show. Okay. What was the last thing you said?
They need to be really aggressive with their cap space.
Yeah,
it's their most valuable asset. Not having I'd even say their cap space is more aggressive or is more important than pick 29. Because if they had pick 29, do you know what we'd be saying? Go use that thing, right? Use that thing on a player, wouldn't we?
What does that mean? Trade it for a player? You mean?
Yeah, go.
Oh yeah,
go trade it for a sweet corner. Go trade it for some unreal, some star guard. The guard would be strong, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, yes. Again, the line is actually another place you could spend your capital, right? But what I was going to say is think about the last 3 teams that win the Super Bowl. I think we spent so much time trying to build up the way the Patriots do it. Star quarterback, and then you develop. But the last 3 teams to win the Super Bowl are teams, the Rams, who have star players everywhere, right? That they acquired.
They also had Tom Brady.
Who?
Right?
Bucks?
No, did you say the Patriots? We spent a lot of time on how the Patriots built their Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah. But they had Tom. But exactly. But I'm just saying the Rams, he was their guy. The Rams star cornerback, star pass rusher, star receiver, another star receiver, acquired a star quarterback. The Bucks before that got Tom, got Gronk, got Lenny, got AB. Say what you want about that. The Chiefs before that, star players all over the place, take
Touchdown
big
the Super
swings
Bowl.
constantly. So, yeah, Odell. I watched the Sound FX the other day.
But AB did. AB 2 years ago did
Oh,
too.
AB did too. But I just, I think specifically a top tier cornerback is one of the major missing pieces for the 49ers when we talk about winning a championship. I know pass rushers make DBs better.
Yeah, I mean, I think DBs can be a little overrated. Like, obviously, the Rams won it with Jalen Ramsey, but I'm not saying I don't want one, but I would just put my emphasis more on the lines. I think you win. Well, it sounds cliche, but in the trenches.
But it's not cliche. I think there's truth to it. But I would say the Niners
I think
have
you can
shown
win
they
with
can
two Emmanuel
develop.
Mosleys.
The Niners have proven they don't have two Emmanuel Mosleys, and they've proven they can develop defensive linemen. Like that is where they can. They don't need to buy defensive
Amber
linemen.
was coming on.
Yeah, maybe he'll be a guy. But they have a secondary that consistently has injuries in it the last 2 years, and that often has a mark in it. Now, maybe Amber was the mark, and he picked off Matthew Stafford week 17. But I think money spent on a top-tier cornerback, a lockdown cornerback, would be money well spent. Now, you could argue Jalen Ramsey, got beat on the first play of that 2-minute drive by Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase after he went for the pick, and Jamar had him beat on the last play if Aaron Donald doesn't get to Matthew Stafford. But I don't think there's any question he changes the games that he plays in.
I agree. You would rather have Jalen Ramsey, not have Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah,
they also gave up 2 1s and a 2 for him.
I know. Now, if you told me they got Khalil Mack and didn't get J.C. Jackson, I go, fine. I'm with you. It's just about elevating. I think offensive line, as unsexy as it can be sometimes, and you already spent the money on Trent, I think is definitely a place. Because I think it's twofold, John. Whether it's rookie quarterback Trey Lance or veteran quarterback Tom Brady, you are not going to regret investing in your offensive line.
Never do. I'd say the same thing about the defensive line. Now, they do. I mean, who knows what to even make of this? I mean, Kinlaw's coming back off microfracture surgery, but can you count on him at this point? You did use the 14th overall pick on him. Like, they're not, I would say, counting on him to be some impact player, but I bet they talk about, like, if we can just get half of what we were hoping. He was a 14th overall pick, and you and I have stood by him. He is a mammoth of a man for NFL standards, right?
Yeah.
If they could just use that body for 25 snaps, that immediately improves them. So you could argue that it would be nice just to know you had something, and then it would be way easier to invest in the secondary. Because DJ Jones a free agent, Armstead had a good year. You could argue as long as Armstead is next to Bosa and the D-line coach is there, he's going to be fine. Like, he'd start on every team, right, in the league. Like, he's a good NFL player. But you only really have one impactful defensive lineman. And he's elite. But I do think you want, like, look at the Browns last year. What'd they try to do? It didn't work, but when got Clowney to go with Miles? What are the Chargers doing? We saw it 3 years ago. It was a perfect storm, right? Bosa and Buckner. And it was like, okay, it's on. And then the other two guys, just D Ford is good and Armstead is good. But those two guys are elite. So you get two dominant guys. Like the Chiefs had it for a minute with Clark and Chris Jones. It makes everyone even look way sweeter. Chiefs have been, now their offense is obviously with Mahomes, but their defense, they're D-line.
But DJ Jones, I'd say Arden Key too. Like, and even Arden Key. Like I thought down the stretch, especially, right? The Niners made plays with their defensive front.
Yeah. That's the counter is like, we have the best defensive line coach in the league. We pay him a lot of money. He can make more. And it's true. And I like that. But I still think you can just ultimately Nick Bosa with him is even probably that much better, right? I think you got to be careful with that. Like the Eagles view themselves, they got the best offensive line coach in the league. And they've created this dude from New Zealand. They turned him into a star left tackle. But they still are aggressive to try to get big-time offensive linemen, right? They took Landon Dickerson in the second round coming off an ACL. He would have been a first-round pick. They didn't go, well, we'll just give him a guard, in the fourth round. No, you still got to give top-flight guys, right? There's only – Belichick has been really the only guy over the years to like, how's he doing this? He historically hasn't had many like Nick Bosa's and their defense has been really good.
Yeah.
And I'd say he's a true outlier. Like Malcolm Butler's and J.C. Jackson's a little different, right? Because he got in trouble. And that's why he probably fell in the draft. But
Chandler Jones.
yeah, Chandler Jones was one of the rare guys he drafted really high and was sweet. And then the moment he got naked, Belichick shipped his ass out of town.
Right.
Just a little Hashiba or
Hashish.
No, it was synthetic weed or something.
Well, Chandler's available. Chandler
Someone
Jones
said
available.
that I saw a stat the other day on him. I don't want to butcher it, but it was pretty ugly because he had a 6-sack game to start the season, and then it disappeared for a while.
Game log. Did he have a 6-sack game? He ended with 10.5 sacks. So if he had a 6-sack game, that'd be.
It might have been 5 sacks, or it might have been 6 sacks. Well, week 1. What do you have week 1?
5 sacks.
Yeah, so 5 of his 10 sacks came in one game. Now it's a PFF pressure league. Can you get pressures?
Yeah, but I mean that's.
If this was remember Doc Rivers used to sign every player that torched him. If you were just the Niners and you just watched the games against you, you'd be like, Chandler Jones is sweet, right?
Well, I started thinking, did Carson Wentz have a good game against the football team when he was the Eagles quarterback? Did he create some problems for Ron Rivera head to head? Is that why Ron likes him? There's always something to be said for that.
I could just see him and Del Rio having a soft spot for the size and the physical talent. Sure. Those two guys feel like this guy'd be hard to game plan against,
Yeah. Defensive guys tend to worry less about the things that the quarterback room.
Yeah, they don't ever go in it.
Leader in the quarterback room. What do I don't care if my best pass rush doesn't talk to anybody. What difference does it make?
Yeah. LT used to take naps. Because he did crack all night.
Well, this is, and I think you said it too. You sleep because you do crack all night?
No, he slept.
He would need a nap later in the day?
Yeah, because
he was up all night?
Yeah, crack. He didn't sleep. Might have been crank. I don't know whatever it was in the 80s.
I need a definition of everything. But I mean, this is part of the point of Trey Lance. Here's the other part of it. When you have a rookie contract, you said it earlier. The other part is this. I still have the door open over on the side for the Tom Brady conversation. And I don't really think the Niners have to worry about what they spend in free agency.
Yeah.
While keeping Tom in mind. I said it before. I'll say it again. If Tom Brady wants to come back and play for the 49ers, which is, I think, the only team he'd come back to play for, he's not going to go all the way to the last moment with the Niners. And then the thing that prevents him from coming back is the Niners can only pay him $8 million.
Well, there's a decent chance that after the draft, the max amount of money they could pay anybody would be like $2 million.
Yeah, and if Tom wants to come back and play for the Niners, and that's all they can pay him, that's what I think Tom would take it.
If Tom Brady plays for the Niners on the veteran minimum, everyone would be very angry.
It's like Tom and Tabor Pepper have the same salary this year.
Tom's base salary is $1.35 with incentives to get to $46 million.
A lot of debate right now about Lake and Tomlinson versus J.C. Jackson, where the Niners should spend their money there.
Yeah, I'm not into overpaying guards. Let Tomlinson
that you built up, right?
Yeah, that you got for nothing. Let him go. Let him get overpaid.
You drafted a guard last year.
I don't think they can compete unless he wants to give a huge hometown discount because the amount of money on free agency. I had someone tell me they think he's going to be the highest paid guard. There aren't that many good offensive linemen. Think of all the team with cap space. Most teams have shitty offensive lines. It's like, we got to use it anyway. We might as well just. He's an $8 million player. We'll give him 13.5. If you're the Niners, you're like, we're out.
Yeah,
because they do have the money. They do have the money to keep him. But didn't they just draft a guard in the second round? Like coach.
Exactly. That's why you draft guys.